Every single day, you're having hundreds of conversations that you're not even aware of. And no, not with people, but with your devices. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that invisible dialogue, a field known as human-computer interaction. I mean, really think about it for a second. When you tap an icon or swipe through photos or pinch to zoom in on a map, what is actually happening? It feels so intuitive, right? Almost like it's just an extension of your own thoughts. But trust me, that feeling is anything but accidental. You see, these gestures, the tap, the drag, the pinch, they aren't just random actions. They're basically words. They're the vocabulary of a silent language, one that's been carefully designed so you can tell a machine exactly what you want, and it gets it. That dialogue is the very heart of human-computer interaction. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's really pull back that curtain and figure out how this whole invisible conversation is designed. So, at its core, human-computer interaction, we'll just call it HCI for short, is the science of designing that space between us and our technology. It's this amazing mashup of psychology, engineering, art, you name it. And the whole point is to make technology not just work, but to feel intuitive, efficient, and maybe even a little bit fun to use. To really get this, you have to meet the main characters in the story, because in every single one of these interactions, there are three essential players at the table. First up, and most importantly, there's the human. That's you. HCI is absolutely obsessed with understanding the user, how we think, how we see the world, our physical limitations, and what makes us feel either frustrated or totally delighted. The entire process starts and ends with us. And this is so key because, think about it, we have always been tool users. The fundamental challenge really hasn't changed for thousands of years. How do we design tools that actually fit the human? It doesn't matter if it's a stone axe or a smartphone. Our minds and bodies are the constant. The technology is what has to adapt. Okay, player number 2, the computer. And it's so important to think beyond that beige box on your desk. Today, a computer is your phone, your watch, your car's dashboard, the thermostat on your wall, your smart speaker. I mean, this conversation is happening literally everywhere. Just look at this evolution. We've gone from machines that took up entire rooms to devices we now wear on our bodies. The computer has completely transformed. And with every single transformation, the challenges and the opportunities for designing that interaction have just grown exponentially. And that brings us to the third player, the interaction itself. This is the bridge. This is the actual dialogue. It's the set of actions you take and the feedback the computer gives you. This is where good or really, really bad design lives. Getting this part right is what separates technology that empowers us from technology that just drives us crazy. So, and this is the crucial point, a great interaction doesn't just happen by magic. Nope, it's the result of a very deliberate and thoughtful process. And that process is called user-centered design. I mean, the name says it all. Instead of building some tech and then forcing people to adapt to it, this whole philosophy just flips the script. It starts with what you, the user, actually need and makes that the absolute priority from day one. And it's not a straight line. It's a continuous loop. You don't just design something once, ship it out, and call it a day. You build something, you get feedback from real people, you learn, and you refine it. It's this constant cycle of improvement, always circling back to the user. So let's just quickly walk through that loop. It all kicks off with empathy, really trying to step into the user's shoes. From that understanding, you can define the actual problem you need to solve. Then you ideate, which is just a fancy way of saying you brainstorm a ton of possible solutions. You build a quick prototype to make one of those ideas feel real. And then, crucially, you test it with actual people to see what works and what doesn't. That feedback is pure gold, and it fuels the entire loop all over again. Now, over the decades, the language of this interaction has evolved quite a bit. So let's look at a few of the major styles of communication we've developed with our machines. For a long time, two styles pretty much ruled the world. First, you had the command line interface, or CLI. You know, that black screen with blinking text? You had to type precise commands. Super powerful, but you had to know the secret language. Then came the revolution, the graphical user interface, or GUI. Instead of typing, we got a visual world of icons, windows, and pointers. The goal wasn't just power, it was intuition. And this captures that shift perfectly. On the left, with the command line, you are telling the computer exactly what to do. But on the right, with the graphical interface, you are showing it what you want by pointing and clicking. That one simple shift from telling to showing is what made computers accessible to pretty much everyone. But of course, we didn't stop there. Today, we're moving into all these new realms. We have voice interfaces like Alexa and Siri. We have natural interfaces that understand gestures and touch. There are even tangible interfaces where we can manipulate physical objects to control digital stuff. The conversation is just getting more and more human. So, where is all of this headed? Well, the scope of this conversation is expanding faster than ever before. The future of interaction is really about breaking free from the screen. We're using new ways to communicate, like our voice and our gestures. Our systems are becoming context-aware. They're adapting to where we are and what we're doing. Now, this brings up some huge ethical questions about privacy and bias, for sure. But ultimately, it's all leading to one place: ubiquitous computing, where technology just disappears into the fabric of our environment. Wearables are a perfect example. Your watch isn't just a device you use, it's a part of you. It's constantly sensing, giving you little nudges of information, and making that conversation between you and your digital world totally seamless and persistent. And it's expanding right into our homes. With smart technology, your house itself becomes an interface. You talk to the lights, your thermostat anticipates what you need, the computer is just sort of dissolving into the world around us. And this all leaves us with a really critical question. As our technology gets smarter, more predictive, and woven into every moment of our lives, the goal can't just be about making things more efficient. The real challenge, the one that truly matters now, is this: how do we make sure the interactions we design are not just seamless, but are genuinely and meaningfully human?